going to talk about in this video is, this is a part 2. Excuse me. It's a continuation on how to multiply polynomials. If you have any confusion as to what polynomials are, just please go watch either part 1. I kind of go in more detail as to what polynomials kind of are, some context. Or you can go to the anatomy series where we kind of break down all of the parts and stuff of a polynomial. It's in the playlist somewhere. But what we mainly gonna do in this video is examples. A lot of computation in this particular video. So let's start with some problems. Let's say we had something like so let's say we had this, right? Times, let's see. I guess you could put the times right there. But what is this? 3n squared plus 2n plus 1 times 2n plus 4. So what you essentially want to do again with multiplying polynomials, we're just going to multiply each of the terms by each other and then combine when simplified. So the first thing that we're going to do, and again, let me just emphasize, listen, I'm gonna pause with a cause. There are no rules to which one you got to go. So it don't matter where you start at. I don't want y'all to think that it's, again, so rigid. Because it's not. I'm trying to figure out right now how I want to kind of go about this one. Let's see. This 2n plus 4. I'm going to make a grid. This is what I'm going to do. That marker is, let's see. Niggas up staffing. Knock the camera down. What I'm gonna do is make a grid. So we got in this term, and again, the whole purpose of this is just how to multiply each of these together. Each of these in between these plus and minus signs. So we gotta multiply this, and this. So I'm gonna put 2n right here, and then a positive 4. So everything across this line is gonna get multiplied by 2n right here, and then 4 right here. I'm gonna make this one for 3n squared. And let me see, another 2n right there, and then a positive 1. So, I mean, I'm sure y'all can kind of see where we're going with this. I'm just gonna multiply each of these by each other, and if you kind of analyze this carefully, again, it's just what I said. We're just multiplying each term by each term in the other, thing that we multiplying. So 3n squared times 2n. Again, let's do this. 2n to the first. And then there's a first right there as well. But still, these two n's are not exactly the same, so we can't combine them all the way. We can't combine them directly, but there is a shortcut that we can take. So what I'm gonna do is this. So what we're multiplying is 3n squared. We're just gonna write down exactly what we're thinking. 3n squared times 2n. I'm just gonna keep that like that. And that's because we can't combine them into something simpler than that. But we still want to be able to compute. So we just gotta put it in kind of exactly what we was doing. 3n squared times 2n. So let's move to this other one. these two, 2n times 2n, well, actually, hold up. That should be 6n. I'm tripping. Yeah. But 2n times 2n, these are the exact same terms, so we can combine them and get one single thing. So what this is going to be, we got the coefficient is going to be 2 times 2, which is 4. And then n to the first times n to the first is n squared. So that's what 2n times 2n is. And then 2n times 1 is just going to be 2n. Excuse me. Cool. So now we're just going to do the same thing for the 4. And just a reminder, what we're doing is multiplying everything in this parentheses. We're multiplying that by everything in this parentheses. But I'm just laying it out kind of on a grid. So now we got 4 times 3n squared. Well, we can't ain't no n squared for the 4, but we can multiply the 4 and 3 together and get 12. And then we got to keep that n squared because there's nothing really to combine that with. So that has to stay there. And it's positive. Remember, all of these, so this is positive 4. It's not a negative 4, otherwise this would be negative 12. 4 times 2n to the first, kind of the same situation. This 4 is just a number, but we still got to multiply. So we're just going to multiply the coefficients like this, and we got to keep the n to the first right there. And then now we got 4 times 1, which is going to be 4. Cool. So now we got everything multiply, which is, we could stop right here, to be honest with you. This is the answer. What's in this 3n squared plus 2n plus 1 times 2n plus 4 equals 6n squared times 2h plus 4n squared plus 2n plus 12n squared plus 8n to the first plus 4. We could stop. And to be honest, I think I might. We could, you could write it out how we supposed to in class and stuff. But I just want you to, let me see if we got time for another example. What time? Oh my God. Yeah, we're going to do another example. Let's say we had something, let's say, there you go. I already did mine, so I ain't gonna do that. That'd be 14 times. And so we had something like this. Well, the idea is the exact same as the last problem. We just gotta multiply everything in this parentheses and combine it with everything that's in this parentheses. So the way that we start with that, now, in this particular example, we don't got no letters that's the same. We got an N and then we got an X, but we still want to be able to compute and do stuff. So what are we supposed to do? I'm gonna do it on this little board right here. Anytime you got two letters that's not the same, but you need to multiply them, how we do that is we just write the two letters beside each other. We just multiply them together. That's how you do that. And then we take whatever is in front of them and multiply that right there. That should be the answer right there. Oh shit. Look, God damn. But look, so let's start with, so we're gonna multiply 7n times 3x. So 7n times 3x, 7 times 3 is gonna be 21. And then n times x is n times x. That's gonna be real crucial for when you got real life scientific problems to solve. Not everything is always gonna be in the same terms, but you still need to know how to multiply things together within polynomials. So let's move to, we'll do 7n times 1. That's gonna be just a positive 7n. Now we multiply negative 14 times 3x. we kind of got to pull the same little situation like what we did with this n and this x right here. They don't necessarily got no terms in common, but we can multiply negative 14 times 3. What's that? Yeah, so that should be negative 42x. And then negative 14 times positive 1. Yeah, it's negative 14. And this is the answer. 7n minus 14 times 3x plus 1. What you get out of that, and we can switch up the order however we want to. We could be 7n, minus 42x plus 21nx minus 14. Or we could put the negative 14 first and then plus 7n. It don't matter how we arrange it, but the answer is when we combine what's in this parentheses and when we multiply that by what's in this parentheses, what we get is 21nx plus 7n minus 42x minus 14. That's the concept that you're gonna need now. You know, the computation is important, which is why we're doing it now, but I really want y'all to understand the concept to give context to the computation. You know. But let's see, let's do one more, you know what I'm saying, one more little problem. Okay, let's see. Alright, let's say we had something like 16n squared plus 3 times 2n squared. Same principle as, you know, from the other problem. We just got to multiply everything in this parentheses and multiply it by everything in this parentheses. So 2n squared times 16 squared, that's going to be, what, 16, hold up. 16 times 2, what's that? 32. So that's 32. N squared times n squared is gonna be n to the 4. So that's all we just combined into right there. And now 3 times n squared, that's just gonna be positive 6n squared. And this is our answer. This is what we get when we multiply what's in this parentheses by what's in that parentheses.